Rain hit the ground hard as Ava Cross walked home from her night shift at the hospital. Her shoes were soaked, her coat clung to her back, and all she wanted was a hot shower and sleep. The streets were empty, lit only by the dim yellow glow of old street lamps. Thunder rumbled in the distance. Something about the night felt strange, too quiet. Then the sky lit up. A flash of blue light split the clouds. Ava looked up and froze. Some kind of ship was falling from the sky. It wasn't. A plane. It glowed, twisted, and spun as if breaking apart. A deep pulsing hum followed it down, growing louder until it smashed into the forest near the road. Only half a mile from where she stood, a shockwave hit her, almost knocking her off her feet. Birds screamed and flew from the trees. The wind roared, then went still again. Smoke began to rise from the forest. Her breath came fast. Every part of her said, "Go home." Duh. But her feet moved toward the crash. Branches snapped under her boots as she pushed through the trees. The air smelled like fire and metal. Sparks flew from burning wreckage. Then she saw it. A small alien craft torn open down the middle, glowing from inside. Its surface looked organic, like muscle and steel mixed together. Ava stared for a moment, frozen by fear and memory. 5 years ago, she had helped an alien escape from a secret government lab. She was young then, working as a nurse under contract. One night, she had found a strange mant, thin eyes too bright, skin faintly glowing in a locked room. They called him Specimen 9, but he had looked at her, spoken gently, and said, "Just one word, please." She had broken protocol, snuck him out, and never saw him again. Now, in the broken ship, a tall figure lay motionless. She stepped forward. It was him, the alien she had saved. His body was covered in blood, his breathing shallow. One arm was crushed, beneath a metal beam. His silver skin flickered with a dim light. He opened his eyes when he saw her. "Ava," he whispered. His voice was weak but clear. "You came." She dropped to her knees beside him. "You're alive. You need help." "I'll call someone." "No time." He gripped her hand with surprising strength. "They're coming. Listen to me." She tried to stop the bleeding, but he winced and shook his head. "In the back," he said. "Go. Now." She hesitated, then followed his eyes. Behind a torn wall in the ship, something moved. A pod, glowing. It opened when she got close. Inside, wrapped in soft silver cloth, was a baby. It had pale blue skin, tiny fingers. Its eyes, opened and they were human. She stared, not breathing. What is this?" "He is my son," the alien said behind her. "And yours now?" She turned to him, confused. "What do you mean, mine? I created him from my DNA, and yours," he said.
"Your blood
"Saved me. It healed me. It left a trace. I used that trace to give him balance." Hands shook as she lifted the baby. He didn't cry. He just looked at her like he already knew her. The alien coughed hard, blood leaking from his mouth. "Take him. Protect him. They'll hunt him. He is heir to everything I built." "What? Do you mean heir?" she asked. "Why me? Why now?" "'Cause I trust you," he whispered. "And he trusts you." The ground shook. A low, distant hum grew louder. Ava looked up. Bright lights in the skyships. "Military, they found me," he said. "Run, don't let them take him." She crouched beside him. "I'm not leaving." "You hear you must." He reached into his chest suit and pulled out a strange metallic object. It was small, glowing red and gold, pulsing like a heart. "This is his key to his future, to his throne. Only you can activate it." He pressed it into her hand. It was warm. It pulsed when it touched her skin. "You'll know what to do when." "The time comes," he said. Then he closed his eyes, and he was gone. The baby let out a quiet whimper. Ava held him tight, backed away from the wreckage. Searchlights cut through the trees now. Voices, shouts. They were close. She turned and ran. Back. Through the forest. Through the trees, over the fence, into the night. She didn't stop running until she reached her car. She jumped inside, slammed the door, and hit the gas. The baby didn't cry. He just stared at her, calm, watching. "What are you?" she whispered. No answer. Less. Then, the strange object in her hand lit up and projected a hologram in front of her, spinning map of stars, galaxies, planets she didn't recognize. One planet glowed red. One name blinked on the screen. Heir confirmed. She dropped the device in her lap, stunned. The baby reached out and touched her chest, over her heart. A warm pulse spread through her body, and in her mind, a voice spoke clear, but not her own. "There. Coming. Protect me, Mother." Her hands clenched the wheel. Her heart pounded. She didn't know where to go, who to trust, what any of this meant. But she knew one thing for sure. Her life was over, and something much bigger had just begun. Ava didn't sleep that night. She drove 4 hours with no destination. The alien baby wrapped in her coat, fast asleep in the passenger seat. Rain still poured from the sky. Her mind raced, struggling to make sense of what had happened. She had seen impossible things. A living alien. A child made from her DNA. A hologram of stars projected from a glowing device now sitting in her Q folder. And the voice. "They're coming. Protect me, Mother." That voice wasn't hers. From the baby, but not through sound. It had been inside her mind, steady, real. Every few minutes she checked the sky, expecting to see government helicopters or something worse. Nothing came, but the fear didn't fade. By morning, she reached an abandoned gas station. Far outside the city, she pulled behind the building and parked the car under a broken canopy. The baby was still silent, but when she looked at him, he looked back, like he understood everything. Ava stepped out of the car, her legs stiff. She needed to think. She pulled out the strange object against the alien artifact the father had given her. It was oval-shaped, like a smooth stone, with veins of red and gold light running through it. It glowed faintly when she touched it, and again it responded only to her. "What are you?" she whispered. The device lit up again, projecting the star mapped thousands of points of light moving in slow circles, each one labeled in a strange alien script. But now, the map zoomed in on one star system. Single planet blinked, Valeri Prime. Below the name, words appeared in her own language. "Initiate Guardian Protocol?" She didn't know what that meant. She hesitated. Then she whispered, "Yes." A flash of light burst from the device. Ava gasped and covered her eyes. When the light faded, the baby was glowing faintly. His skin shimmered with the same gold light. He opened his eyes and reached for the device. It floated. The object hovered over his tiny hands, spinning in midair, pulsing with power. Then it dropped into his grip. He held it gently like it was a toy, and the glow around him faded. Ava's breath caught in her throat. "What are you?" she asked again. This time, the baby turned to look at her. His voice echoed in her mind again, quiet, but stronger than before. "I am the Heir. You are the Guardian." Ava backed away. "No, I'm just a nurse. I work double shifts. I eat cereal for dinner. I have nothing. I'm not anyone." The baby blinked once. Then again, calm. "You are now." Suddenly a loud hum filled the air. Ava turned to Ward. The sky, 3 glowing shapes appeared, small, silent ships, triangular and sleek. They hovered high above, then one of them descended fast, heading straight for the gas station. No, not now. Not yet. She grabbed the baby, jumped back into the car, and sped off. The ship followed, stayed behind her like a shadow, silent but steady. Lights scanned the ground, sweeping in long beams across the road. Her heart pounded in her chest. The baby clung to her, not crying, just watching. She turned off the road, bouncing down a dirt path. Trees rushed past her windows. The ship disappeared behind the canopy, but she knew it was still close. Then, the device on the dashboard blinked again. New message appeared. Emergency escape protocol engaged. Before she could react, her car stopped, completely shut. Down, what the hell? The baby glowed again? The air around him shimmered, and then a strange silence fell over the world. The baby's skin lit up with symbols, glowing white letters and shapes, moving like water under his skin. He looked up at her, and the ground below them opened. A circular platform rose from beneath the earth, unfolding like a blooming flower. Metal petals curved upward. Ava's car was gently lifted off the ground and pulled onto the platform by some invisible force. Then, it descended dash-fast, down into the earth. Ava screamed and held the baby close. Darkness swallowed them. Lights flashed on around the platform's smooth white walls, humming with alien energy. Then everything stopped. Silence. The car lowered onto solid ground in a massive underground chamber. Walls curved in every direction, glowing with soft blue light. A strange mist floated near the floor. A voice echoed through the air. Not the baby's this time, but synthetic. Welcome, Guardian. The air is safe. Transport to Valeri Prime is now available. Ava stepped out of the car, shaking. The baby giggled softly. Before her stood a gate-tround, glowing, spinning slowly like a liquid mirror. Beyond it, a tunnel of stars stretched into the distance. She was no longer on Earth, not really. And she knew deep in her chest that nothing would ever be the same again. Ava stood frozen at the edge of the glowing gateway, heart pounding. The baby nestled against her chest, completely calm. As if he had been here before, like this place was home to him. The round portal spun slowly, humming with quiet energy. Through it, Ava saw a tunnel of light stretching far into space, stars blinking like distant eyes. She wanted to turn back. But where would she go? Earth was no longer safe. The moment the alien had died in her arms, her old life ended. She stepped forward. The moment her foot touched the platform, the voice returned. Soft, smooth, mechanical, galactic transit confirmed. Guardian, Ava Cross. Heir, recognized. Destination, Valeri Prime. She felt a pull, not physical, but something deeper. Like the baby's presence was unlocking doors inside her. Doors she never knew existed. Then everything went white. No pain, no sound. Just light. Ava blinked. She stood on solid ground again, but everything had changed. A pink sky stretched above her. 2 suns hung low on the horizon, one orange, the other blue. Towers of glass and stone rose high in the distance, floating slightly above the ground. Strange bird-like creatures soared overhead, leaving trails of silver in the sky. Valeri Prime. She turned slowly, her breath caught in her throat. The place was beautiful, and yet something felt off. No people, no movement, too quiet. The ground beneath her boots was smooth white metal, etched with alien writing. The air smelled faintly of flowers, but cold, too like it hadn't been touched by life in a long time. Then the voice returned. This is the capital of the old Valeri Empire, deactivated for 47 cycles, awaiting the return of the heir. Ava looked down at the baby. He was wide awake now, watching everything with quiet, curious eyes. He looked like a human child, but something in him felt ancient. What? Is this place? She whispered. The AI voice answered immediately. This world belonged to his father. Now, it belongs to him. She walked forward slowly, holding the baby close. As she stepped onto a raised platform, a ripple of light spread. Beneath her feet, the ground lit up in a spiral, reacting to her presence. Then, a large screen appeared before her, floating in the air. A face flickered into view. His face, the alien. The one she had helped years ago. The one who had died in her arms. It wasn't a live image. It was a recording. He looked healthy, strong, his silver skin glowing, eyes calm and full of something like peace. "Hello, Ava," the message said. "If you are seeing this, then I have failed." Ava felt her knees weaken. She stood still, the baby pressing his head against her chest. I hoped I would raise him myself, but I knew the chances were slim. I've made too many enemies. I chose peace. They wanted war. His voice was steady, but there was sadness in it. I chose you to raise him because you're the only one who ever showed me his kindness without wanting something in return. That night you saved me. It changed everything. Your blood healed my wounds, but your mercy healed more. The screen shimmered slightly, showing images Nova sneaking him out of the facility 5 years ago, hiding him under blankets, driving. Him in her old car. She hadn't known anyone was recording. You thought you were just a nurse, he said, but you were always something more. Images changed again, battles across the stars, explosions, alien fleets, worlds burning. I built an empire to stop the destruction. But peace is fragile. My son holds the last key to that future, and you, Ava, hold him. The message paused. I know you're afraid. So was I. But you're not alone. We'll find you soon. Protect him until then. Teach him what it means to be human. Because one day, he'll need to decide what kind of ruler he wants to be. Then the screen vanished. Ava stood in silence. Wind brushed softly through the air. The baby let out a soft noise, reaching toward the place where the hologram had been. She sat down on the smooth platform, heart still racing, thoughts spinning. How was she supposed to raise a child like this? How could a normal person, even someone who had made one brave choice, be trusted with the future of a galaxy? She looked down at the child. His eyes met hers. They were calm, warm. He reached up, touched her cheek. Don't be afraid, he whispered inside her mind. It was the first time his voice had sounded like a child's. She laughed softly, tears slipping from the corners of her eyes. Okay, she said. I'm not afraid. Then the ground shook. A loud rumble echoed. Through the valley, far in the distance, black shapes appeared in the sky ships, large ones, and straight toward her. The AI spoke again. Unauthorized vessels entering Valeri airspace. High threat level detected. Ava stood quickly, holding the baby tight. A screen blinked to life again. A new image, grainy sharp, showed a symbol on the incoming ships. She didn't recognize it, but the baby did. His eyes went wide. They're here. Ava looked around. No weapons, no soldiers. Just her and a child. But she felt something stir inside her like the moment the baby touched her. Something more had awakened. A sharp voice came over a hidden speaker. Angry, surrender the air. You have 10 minutes. Ava clenched. Her jaw. No, she said. She looked down at the glowing artifact still wrapped in the baby's blanket. It was pulsing again, waiting for her to act. She took a deep breath and whispered, Show me how to fight. The platform beneath Ava shifted, rising with a soft hum as glowing blue walls formed around Heir, invisible shield coming to life. The baby rested calmly in her arms, but his skin flickered with light, as if reacting to the threat overhead. Above them, black ships grew larger by the second. Sleek, claw-like, and dangerous. They circled like predators. Ava stared up at them, pulse racing. She didn't know how to fly. She didn't know how to fight aliens or use alien tech. But the voice inside her, the voice of the air, remained calm. You are not alone. Trust. The vault. She didn't know what the vault was until the ground opened. Directly ahead, a tall door split apart with a burst of light. A long hallway revealed itself, walls lined with glowing symbols. Ava stepped forward, drawn in. As she entered, torches lit one by one, though there was no fire, just blue energy. The voice of the AI returned. Welcome to the Guardian Vault. Defense protocols now active. Ava moved quickly, boots echoing against the smooth floor. The baby made no sound, just watched. At the center of the vault stood a tall pedestal. Hovering above it was a suit, not just armor, living armor. It moved like it breathed. Its plates pulsed with energy, adapting, shifting as she stepped closer. It was designed for someone exactly her size. Would you like to activate the Guardian suit? The AI asked. Ava's first instinct was to say no, but outside, ships were landing. Metal feet were already hitting the ground. She could hear the distant shriek of weapons being loaded. She had 10 minutes. Now maybe 8. She nodded. The suit responded, instantly rising off the pedestal, splitting in half. Before she could panic, it moved toward her, pieces sliding over her shoulders, chest, and legs, locking into place without pain. It was light, too light for armor but strong. She could feel it humming against her skin. Her vision shifted as a visor clicked down over her face. Information appeared: chip locations, enemy heat signatures, and a countdown. 6:42. The baby let out a soft sound. Ava turned. He was smiling. She slipped him gently into a carrier that the suit opened on her chest. As soon as he was in place, the entire suit surged with power. Her limbs felt stronger, her heart faster, her fear gone. Then the door behind her exploded. 3 dark armored figures stormed into, alien and armed with long pulse weapons. They spoke a language she didn't know, but their intent was clear. Kill the Guardian. Take the Heir. Ava raised her hand instinctively, and the suit reacted. A wave of golden light burst from her palm, striking the first enemy with a blast. Of pure energy, he hit the wall and didn't get back up. The other 2 opened fire. The suit moved before she could even think, pulling her sideways, deflecting energy with a glowing shield that folded out of her forearm. She rolled, lifted, her hand again, and fired. This time, the beams sliced through both attackers like they were made of paper. She stood, stunned, breathing hard. The baby looked up at her, wide-eyed, then nodded once like he was proud. More movement outside. Ava rushed back onto the platform. Over a dozen soldiers now approached. One of the ships landed with a crash, its ramp lowering to release a large, cloaked figure with glowing red eyes. The AI whispered into her helmet. Enemy commander identified. Species: Thrall. Class: Enforcer. Caution: highly dangerous. The figure spoke, voice booming across the ruins. Return the child, and you will not suffer. Resist and die slowly. Ava stepped forward, her voice steady behind the helmet. I don't think so. The suit's back opened, forming wings made of light and energy. It lifted her into the air. The baby squealed delighted. Then she dove toward them. The battle was fierce. Pulse rifles, fire blasts, alien blades. But the suit reacted to her every move, deflecting, dodging, striking with power she didn't know she had. Her punches shattered armor. Her kicks sent soldiers flying. The Heir's energy flowed into her with every second, guiding her hand. Then came the commander. He moved faster than the others, stronger too. His weapon cracked the ground where she had stood a second before. He leapt high, aiming for her chest with a double-bladed spear, but Ava blocked it barely. The force threw her backward. She hit the ground, rolled, and got back up. You fight well, for a nurse, he growled. She narrowed her eyes. I'm not just a nurse anymore, he charged. They clashed again, light against shadow, fire against steel. She was faster, but he was relentless. The suit warned her, power levels dropping, 15% remaining. Ava gritted her teeth. She couldn't stop now. She glanced at the baby. Met her eyes and reached up. His tiny hand touched the inside of her armor. The suit exploded with golden light. Enemy commander froze. What is this? Ava rose off the ground, floating now. The air pulsed with energy. A symbol glowed. On her chest plate, the royal mark of Valeri. The enemy tried to back away, but it was too late. She raised one hand. A shockwave burst from her armor, sweeping across the battlefield. Enemy ships collapsed. Soldiers were thrown through the air. The commander screamed as the blast hit him, his armor shattering, his body flung into the trees. Silence returned. Ava floated down gently, her armor fading to soft silver, wings folding back. She was breathing hard, shaking, but alive. The AI returned in her helmet, threat neutralized. Guardian protocol complete. The Heir is safe. The baby laughed just once. You're in her mind. His voice returned. You are ready. Ava looked at him. Maybe she was. Maybe she wasn't. But the galaxy had just learned one thing. She wasn't giving him up. Not now, not ever. Ava stood in the middle of the battlefield, breathing heavy, the golden light fading from her armor. Smoke curled from the wreckage of enemy ships and fallen soldiers. The baby was calm, tucked close against her chest, as if nothing unusual had happened. As if his guardian hadn't just wiped out an entire assault force by herself, The ground was littered with pieces of twisted metal and alien gear. She kept scanning the sky. More would come. And this time, she might not win. Her helmet folded back into the suit, revealing her face, sweat-slicked eyes wide but focused AI. She said, her voice hoarse. "What's our next move?" The voice replied immediately. "A signal has been sent. The other Guardians have been alerted. Reinforcements en route. Its estimated time of arrival, 4 hours. Twin suns above Valeri Prime. For hours is too long." The baby stirred. His hand brushed the center of her armor, and for a brief second, her vision flooded with light again. But this time, not from the suit. It was coming from him. She saw glimpses images that weren't hers. Planets, alien cities, a grand council chamber, and a war. A long one. Soldiers in black armor, like the ones she'd fought, marching through fire. They were spreading, system by system, searching for something, him the heir. The vision faded. Ava gasped, stumbling a step back. The baby looked up at her with those ancient, unreadable eyes. "Are they coming for you, or for what you control?" She whispered. The AI answered. "Both. The heir's genetic key can unlock the last active weapon left by the Valeri Empire. A world engine. The enemy believes they can control it if they take him. Can they? No. Only the heir and his bonded guardian may access it." Ava's chest tightened. "So if they get him without me, they will fail. But he will die." She gritted her teeth. "Then we keep moving. Show me the fastest path to the world engine." The ground trembled again this time, not from ships. Sound low and rhythmic echoed beneath their feet. Footsteps. Large ones. Ava turned. Eyes narrowing from behind a hill of crashed debris, something huge rose a war mech. At least 30 feet tall. Black and jagged like the enemy ships, but older. Rusted in places. Its head twisted toward her. Glowing red eyes locking on. "New threat detected," the AI warned. "Enforcer Titan. Anti-Guardian tech. Prototype. Class. Heavy armor. Highly dangerous." "Great." The mech raised one massive arm. Pulse cannon spun to life. Ava ran, leaping behind a fallen ship just as the weapon fired. The blast scorched the ground behind her, sending shards of rock and steel into the air. She clutched the baby tight, heart pounding. The suit was already struggling low power. "No shield. We can't fight that," she muttered. "Correct. Escape advised. But where?" The AI hesitated. "Then there is a tunnel, hidden beneath the ruins. It leads directly to the Vault of Stars." Ava didn't know what the Vault of Stars was, but she had no other options. Mark the entrance. Glowing path appeared in her visor, thin and winding. Leading around the battlefield and toward a half-buried structure at the valley's edge, she ran. The mech saw her. It gave chase. Massive footsteps, crushing debris behind her. Each step sent tremors through the ground. A second blast missed her by inches, melting a boulder ahead. Ava pushed harder, lungs burning. Eyes locked on the path. Finally, she reached a crumbling tower, the tunnel's entrance hidden beneath. She pressed her palm to the stone. The baby glowed again, and the wall split open with a hiss. They slipped inside. Just as another blast lit the sky, the door sealed shut behind them. Inside was total darkness for a moment, then soft lights activated, revealing a narrow stone passageway. The walls were etched with glowing script and murals of ancient battles. Ava paused to catch her breath. Baby looked up at her. "You okay?" she whispered. He reached up and touched her cheek again. "You did good." She let out a tired laugh. "Thanks. You're a pretty calm baby, you know that. I've been alive a very long time." She froze. "What?" But he said no more. They moved down the tunnel in silence until the walls opened into a vast underground chamber. Dozens of tall crystal towers stretched from floor to ceiling, each one pulsing with a slow, steady heartbeat of light. In the center, a pedestal. Floating above it, a tiny cube of white stone. The AI spoke quieter this time. "This is the Vault of Stars. Contained here is the memory of every guardian who has ever lived. Touch the cube, and their knowledge will be transferred. Ava stared at it. I'll know everything they did. Yes. All strategies, all languages, all histories. It will be painful. But you will not be the same after. She walked forward slowly. The baby watched her, silent now. Serious, she stopped inches from the cube. It hovered just above the pedestal, glowing faintly with power. I don't want to lose who I am, she whispered. You won't, the baby said softly, his voice inside her mind. You'll just remember who you've always been. Ava reached out. Her fingers touched the cube. Pain hit her instantly like her body caught fire from the inside. Her mind exploded with images wars across galaxies, the rise and fall of empires, ancient codes, tactics, legends. She saw through thousands of eyes, lived 100 lives in seconds. Her knees buckled, and then stopped. She opened her eyes. The chamber felt different. She felt different. Not heavier. Not cold or clearer as she stood tall. The suit responded instantly, glowing brighter, reshaping slightly to match the armor of the oldest guardians. I remember, she whispered. Then, from behind the movement, the wall cracked the mech had found. The tunnel. Ava turned to the baby. Time to use what we've learned. He nodded, and for the first time, his eyes glowed. The stone tunnel shook with a deep, grinding roar. Dust fell from the ceiling in soft clouds, and cracks split along the ancient walls. The mech was tearing through the underground corridors, footsteps a rumble of doom moving closer every second. Ava didn't hesitate. She scooped the glowing cube from the pedestal. It dissolved instantly into light, fusing into her armor and into her mind. The pain was gone, now replaced with focus, confidence, memory. The knowledge of every guardian before her now lived inside her. She turned to the baby, his eyes still glowing softly with that same mysterious light. He looked so small and, yet something inside him was massive, ancient, powerful. He wasn't just a baby, he was the living code of a lost empire. A key. Weapon, but one that couldn't protect itself. Not yet. The mech's roar echoed closer. Ava spun around and ran for the rear Exitan escape tunnel that her new memories told her led to the surface. She sprinted down the dimly lit path, walls, blurring past, heart steady, not afraid anymore, not like before. This time, she knew what she was. Guardian, protector of the air. The tunnel burst open to a cold, sharp wind. Night had fallen. 2 moons hovered above the jagged mountains, casting silver light over the land. Behind her, a shockwave burst. Through the exit, followed by a massive, jagged hand clawing out of the tunnel, the Enforcer Titan. It pulled itself through, war paint glowing with heat. It spotted Ava instantly. She turned and faced it. Come on, she muttered, flexing her fingers. The suit responded. New plating formed along her arms, glowing white lines tracing across her chest and shoulders. Wings folded out, longer now. Sharper, her visor locked down. She was ready. The mech roared and charged. Ava launched into the air, dodging a blast that shattered the ground where she'd stood. She twisted midair and fired a pulse beam at its core. The bolt hit hard, blasting away armor, but not enough. The thing barely flinched. She dove again, getting a swinging arm that knocked over an entire rock pillar. The baby watched with wide, glowing eyes, nestled safely in the center of her chest plate. Then, suddenly, the suit spoke. New protocol unlocked. Guardian sync. Ava blinked. What does that mean? The air is activating a fusion link? Stand by. Her armor lit up white and gold. Symbols spiraled out from her back. Limbs stiffened, then relaxed. Power flooded her chest. Her senses multiplied. The baby's voice filled her mind. Let me help you. Then everything shifted. Ava didn't just wear the suit now, it was the suit. Every movement was fluid. Fast, her thoughts became commands. The mech moved in slow motion. She saw the weak points. And this time, she didn't dodge. She charged. Ava flew straight into the mech's chest, fists glowing, and struck with all the force of her new power. The impact sent a shockwave through the valley. The mech staggered. She twisted in the air, flipped over its shoulder, and fired a bolt directly into its spine. It screamed. The sound was awful, like metal dying. It turned to strike, but she was already behind it. She lifted both hands, charged a full energy pulse, and fired at point-blank range. The beam pierced its chest and tore through it. Froze, then collapsed, piece by piece, metal crashing to the dirt. Silence returned to the valley. Ava hovered above the wreckage for a moment, breathing hard. Then she dropped gently to the ground, landing in a crouch. The suit faded slightly, calming now that the threat was gone. The wings retracted. She touched the baby's head. "You okay?" His eyes dimmed back to normal, and he gave a tiny yawn. "Guess that means yes." She smiled. She turned toward the mountains. The vault of stars was behind them now. Ahead was the last part of the map, burned into her mind, a place called Eliar's Reach, where the Valeri once ruled from a crystal fortress. That was where the world engine slept, waiting for the heir to awaken it. And she knew the enemy would be there waiting too. Before she could take a step, the AI returned. Incoming transmission. Source: Valeri Guardian Ship Radiant Dawn. Ava raised her eyebrows. Another Guardian? The signal flickered into view on her visor, a hologram of a man with silver eyes, in armor much like hers, scarred and older. "You survived," he said, nodding once. Then the heir chose well. Ava crossed her arms. "Who are you?" "Name's Kale. Last Guardian of the 5th Fleet, or I was, until you." She narrowed her eyes. "You gonna try and take him from me?" Kale chuckled. "Not a chance. I'm here to help you get him to the engine before the Thrall do, and you're gonna need help." That Titan wasn't their biggest weapon. Ava glanced at the baby. He was already asleep. "How soon can you get here?" "10 minutes. "Away? Just hold that hill." She smiled. "We're not going anywhere." She looked up at the stars. They thought she'd break. But now, the galaxy had its guardian back. The air was finally safe. For now. A cold wind rolled down from the peaks of the Eliar Mountains as Ava stood on the cliff's edge, watching the stars shift above the darkened horizon. The baby, quiet alert, was wrapped close to her chest. He hadn't spoken since the battle, but she could feel something inside him changing, growing stronger. The landscape ahead was barren but beautiful. Jagged black stone formations jutted out of silver grass. At the center of it all, rising like a crown from the land, was the crystal fortress of Eliar's Risha. Massive structure of translucent spires that caught starlight and reflected it in 1,000 directions. It looked peaceful. But Ava knew. Better, she could feel the trap waiting. Behind her, Kale landed beside her with a quiet thud, dust kicking up from the thrusters in his boots. His armor was older than hers, scratched from 100 battles, but still strong. His face stayed serious, sharp. "Guardian through and through? You ever been inside that place?" Ava asked, nodding toward the fortress. "Once," Kale said. "Long ago, before the fall?" He looked at the baby. "You really bonded with him?" Ava didn't answer. She didn't have to. The baby's tiny hand reached up and gently touched her neck, his eyes glowing for just a moment. Kale raised his eyebrows. "Huh. Guess that answers that." Ava kept her eyes on the fortress. "What are we walking into?" Kale crossed his arms. "The Thrall reached it 2 days before us. Scans show they've already set up a shield around the inner vault. Heavy weapons, EMP nets, drones, probably a few enforcers waiting too. And the world engine, it's still locked. They've been trying to crack it?" Kale looked at her. "They won't get far. The engine reads the heir's biosignature. But the moment they detect you to getting close, they'll throw everything they've got at you." Ava nodded slowly. "So, we break the shield, protect the heir, reach the engine core, and stop an intergalactic death cult from stealing the most powerful weapon in the galaxy." Kale grinned. "That's the short version," Great Ava muttered. She turned. "To the baby? You ready?" His eyes glowed again. "Yes." They descended through the rocky valley with speed and silence. Their suits had activated stealth mode, hiding their energy signatures. The fortress loomed larger with every step. And when they reached the final ridge, Ava saw just how serious the situation was. The fortress was surrounded by 3 black warships, each one bristling with turrets. Dozens of enemy soldiers marched in careful formation. Drones scanned the perimeter, glowing red. A thick energy shield pulsed around the main gate, penetrable. Ava crouched behind a jagged stone and activated her visor. Too many to take head-on. Kale pointed. There's a weak point eastern wall. Power relay station. If we take that out, we kill the shield. But it's guarded. Not for long, Kale smirked. They moved fast, silent shadows, cutting across the ground. At the relay station, Kale launched first, dropping from above and smashing 2 soldiers before they could react. Ava was right behind him, using her wings to leap into the air and fire precision blasts into the next wave. The station's walls exploded in a cascade of sparks. The shield dropped instantly. The Thrall noticed. Sirens screamed. Drones spun. Weapons charged. Troops swarmed. Ava turned to Kale. We split here. You hold them off. I take the Heir to the core. He hesitated. You sure? I have to be? Kale nodded once and turned toward the battlefield, already lighting up the ground with explosive rounds and plasma fire. Ava sprinted straight for the fortress. Inside, it was quiet. Too quiet. The halls of the crystal fortress echoed with her. Every step, glass walls shimmered as if alive. Symbols glowed faintly as she passed. And then, deep in the heart of the fortress, she saw it. The world engine. It floated in a circular chamber, a massive sphere of shifting crystal and golden, rings humming softly. Thousands of lines of alien script danced across its surface. Power crackled around it, sealed by 6 massive locks. As she approached, the voice of the AI whispered, "This is the heart of the Valeri. Final weapon. Final hope." Ava reached the edge of the platform. The baby's glow intensified. The locks responded, clicking softly, scanning his energy. One by one they opened. But before the 6th lock disengaged, the air behind her warped. She turned just in time. The enemy commander had returned. Wounded, burned, but alive. A new armor wrapped his body, black and gold. His eyes burned with hatred. "You made it far, Guardian," he growled, "but not far enough." Ava stepped in front of the baby. "You're not touching him, fool," the commander spat. "You think you control this weapon? You're just a shell. The child belongs to us. His blood was bred for this." Ava's armor locked into full sync, her wings spread wide. "No, he chose me, and I choose to stop you." The commander leaped. They clashed in a blur of motion fist against blade, light against darkness. The world engine spun behind them, glowing faster now as the air's energy surged through the room. Ava fought harder than she ever had. Every move came from memory, from instinct, from the legacy of guardians who died to protect this secret. She was faster, but he was brutal. A lucky strike cut through her wing. She spun, crashed into the crystal wall. The baby cried out. The commander lunged toward him. Ava moved before she could think. She didn't punch. She didn't fire. Threw herself in front of the baby and let the enemy hit her square in the chest. The blow cracked her armor. She hit the floor hard, gasping. But the baby wasn't afraid. It floated and spoke not, with a baby's voice, but something older. Enough. Light erupted from him, pure, burning, golden light that lit the entire chamber like a star had exploded. The commander screamed as the light tore through him, disintegrating his armor and flesh in seconds. When the light faded, he was gone. The world engine's final lock opened, and the baby floated gently back into Ava's arms. She held him tight, her armor flickering. He looked up at her, calm again. "We're almost there," he whispered. And in the center of the chamber, the world engine opened, revealing a stairway, leading deep into the heart of the planet, where destiny waited. The steps into the heart of the world engine pulsed beneath Ava's boots with every move she made. Each one glowed softly as she descended, the baby quiet in her arms, his warm light guiding the way. The air grew warmer, heavier, like pressure. Was building, waiting for something ancient to awaken. Behind her, the battle for the fortress still echoed far above. Kale's last transmission was full of static, but one word came through clear. Go. So she did. The stairway ended at a wide circular platform floating in the void, all around them light. Not walls. Not space, just infinite, shifting light. Like they had stepped outside the universe and into something older. Deeper. The center of the platform held a tall, crystalline pedestal. The moment Ava stepped toward it, her armor fell away in shimmering layers, not gonna swayed in. The baby floated from her chest, drawn to the pedestal like a magnet. His glow became blinding. Then a voice spoke, not from the pedestal, not from the baby, but from everywhere. Heir confirmed. Final Guardian confirmed. Initiating legacy sequence. Rings of symbols appeared in the air. Ava felt herself pulled into the center of them, visions slamming into her thoughts. Worlds, wars, peace, collapse. Hope. She saw the Valeri Empire at its peak, people-wise, kind, flawed but noble. She saw the betrayal, the birth of the Thrall, the galaxy falling into shadow. And then she saw the Heir's origin, not created. Born from a Valeri and a human, a secret child. It's made not as a weapon but as a bridge, a chance for two galaxies to meet again. That's why he'd chosen her. She wasn't just a caretaker, she was the other half of the legacy. The world engine began to glow brighter, or the floating rings spun faster. Final question, will you activate the legacy? Ava's body trembled, not from fear, from the weight of what she was about to do. She stepped forward. I'm not doing this for power, she said softly. Not for war. I'm doing this so he has a future. The baby turned to her. His tiny hand reached out. She took it. The world engine exploded with light. It wasn't a weapon. It was a beacon. A signal sent across the galaxy in every direction through wormholes. Dark space, ancient channels no one had used in centuries. A single message. The Guardians live. The Heir lives. Hope lives. Ava felt the change happen. Her suit returned different now. Gold and white, lighter but stronger. A crown of light circled her head for a moment before fading. She was the first guardian of the new age, and the baby. Name echoed in her mind now. Eliar, the true heir. They rose together, carried by the light back to the surface. When they emerged from the heart of the fortress, the battlefield was silent. The Thrall had vanished. Kale stood among the ruins, bruised. Grinning, alive? You did it, he said. Ava nodded. No, we did. He looked at the baby. What now? She gazed at the horizon, where dozens of lights now appeared in the night sky. Ships, messages, answers, hope. Double quotes, we build again, she said. We teach him, protect him, find the others. Heir raised an eyebrow. Others, Ava smiled. The Guardians are returning. I felt them. They're answering the call. She looked down at Eliar. He smiled back, one hand glowing with starlight. For the first time in forever, the galaxy was waking up. And this time, humanity would stand at its heart because of her, because of them, because the story wasn't over. It was just beginning.